to the Sandy Trail. This is my take 2 on filming this video. I'm gonna say the story and we will hop on to what we supposed to be doing. So this is my second time filming this video. I did not save the first file because I thought everything was okay and I didn't realize YouTube block this particular video in all countries due to copyrights and myself pulling up some of these scenes from the first episode of season 1. I thought it's only blocked for UK viewers, but unfortunately I got blocked when I tried to test it out myself, and I'm like, I'm in the United States and I see my video. So I have to film it all over again and edit some of those scenes where I don't get caught, where YouTube allows me to post it without any restriction, which I know how to do, but it's annoying. I can't really sort it the way I want it. It had to be according to the world of YouTube. So this is my take 2. I filmed the first one back in June. Today is August 3rd, and I plan to release the first video, which is this one, on August 17th. And I'm like, you know what, we need to do this like right now. So welcome to the Sandy Trail. This is a trail that would take us to season 1 and season 2 of Sanditon. We will focus on Charlotte's journey through her love life and what she navigates through as she is living her life in Sanditon in season 1 and 2. I will try my fair best to give attention to the other characters, but I'm not gonna give the same amount of attention as I do to Charlotte. Charlotte is the star of the show, and she goes through a lot in season 1 and 2, and I look forward to talking about this show and about her and her journey and just recapping through these episodes while we wait for season 3 to air in 2023, which is next year. But yeah, so I'm really excited to do this, and I started this YouTube channel with the Teacup Trail, which represents another show called One Calls the Heart on Hallmark channel. I started to season 6, 7, 8, and 9, just finished season 9 this past spring for that show, and season 10 is coming next year, 2023, and I look forward to that as well. I talk about this love triangle in One Calls the Heart and finally ended by the beginning of season 9. And now I want to do another show, and I decided to pick Sanditon. And I think it will be a great, fun show to talk about. And if you never watch it, I highly recommend, or just follow along on here. And if you know anyone that love the show Sanditon and you like my channel, let them know. The more the merrier. Couple of rules. Feel free to comment. I would love to hear your thoughts and your question, anything you have in mind. I love talking to you guys. Second of all, every scene that I post, I don't do it in like one clip, if that makes sense. Like, I split these scenes up just because of YouTube copyrights, and there will be a little emoji on the bottom right corner of your screen. I think I'm gonna use a palm tree for this show. If you see that palm tree, it will let you know that the scene will be cut or will be ending soon, and we will talk about it afterward, about that certain scene. Due to the complexity of the show in relation to YouTube, it's a little bit harder with YouTube for the PBS shows than with Hallmark channel. So there will be some instances where the scene will have like no music, no volume. There will be some cases where it would be like 10 seconds, and I know it's short, and I tried to keep it between 15 to 25 seconds, without getting in trouble and without, hiding it up too much. I try my best, but at the same time, I do need to balance both sides. So that's what I'm trying to do as well for this video. Anything for you guys, like, I'm willing to make it work. And I think, us as a creator, creativity, I think it's really important to allow people to post videos that, that will express their creativity and have this, like, open space where we talk to one another about shows, music, and so forth. So I'm gonna make it work. Yeah, those are the rule of thumbs for my YouTube channel for now. We should get started with the first scene.
Charlotte.
Isn't that big? They need to slow down. They're going too fast for that track.
Right off the bat, we got introduced to Charlotte, and she had this type of hunting gun with her. And my first reaction, though, I would say that, wow, like, that's like a little bit not common back in those days. Women didn't really have much freedom as they do now. And I do want to say that it's like a representation of feminism in this scene. Just a woman with a gun. To me, that's impressive, especially in that time period. So Charlotte with a gun, hey, that's like a really random introduction to a character.
Quick, Alison! Quickly, boys! Are you alright?
Charlotte seemed really nice. She's willing to help these strangers. She literally ran down the hill to make sure that they're okay, and it looks like she might be the oldest child in the family. She just had that sense of a leadership and telling her sibling to follow her down.
Is anybody hurt?
Here we are. No harm done.
Careful, Charlotte. Steady. Here, let me help.
She literally climbed the carriage to this couple, and her sister, like, what are you doing? Like, you're a lady, number one, number two, like, don't get hurt. So she had to, like, that some kind of a tomboy mannerism. She's just very engaging and very active in what she wants to do. Like, she's willing to help, and she just springs into action right there and then.
Thank you, miss.
Be kind of brave to risk yourself. Not at all, Mum. This is the most exciting thing to happen in Wellington for years.
I'm fine, thank you, miss.
She even offered to help the gentleman who is Mr. Parker, Mr. Tom Parker, and his wife, Mary Parker. So she was able to help them get out of the carriage.
Well, neat as ninepence. No! Oh, nothing at all.
Give me your arm, sir. Our house is close by.
Well, thank you, miss. What kindness. I see we have fallen amongst friends.
Unfortunately, Mr. Parker sprained his ankles, so Charlotte willing to help carry him back to Charlotte family home. This is just a really big friendly gesture that Charlotte is doing toward these two strangers. She didn't have to, right? Like, she could have, like, ignored them continue hunting, but she just had that good heart, that servant heart of helping Mr. and Mr. Parker up on the feet and just sort out the situation.
You see, Miss Haywood, hotel here, shops, new terraces here, cliff walk, and the assembly rooms here.
Do you plan to have dancing there, sir?
We are holding our first ball next week.
And you're really building all this?
I am.
Mr. Parker pulled out a map of Sanditon, and right off the bat, you're like, okay, he seemed to be like a businessman, possibly also an architect. He's very proud of this ongoing business plan that he's trying to build, make it happen in Sanditon. Charlotte seemed very interested about this new upcoming seaside town, and she even asked about dancing, and it sounds like she'd like to dance, and there'll be a ball next week. Also, you might start to think, okay, she might have also that sense of adventure.
One of your daughters, perhaps, in return for your kindness.
Papa, might I go?
Really, Charlotte?
Forgive my eldest daughter's presumption, Mr. Parker.
Not at all. Nothing could delight us more. Of course she can come stay as long as she likes. Can she not, Mary?
If you permit, we will be very happy, sir.
Mr. and Mr. Parker want to invite a guest over for the summer as a thank you gift, and Charlotte immediately offered herself to be that guest. That basically confirmed that she is really interested in going to Sanditon and just go on an adventure and travel outside of her hometown. She seemed to be living in the countryside, right? So this looks like a really exciting opportunity for her to expand her horizon and see what's out there in the rest of the world.
These seaside resorts can be odd places. No one quite knows who anyone else is, where they come from, and what they're up to.
That sounds stimulating.
A little spoiler alert, we won't really see much of her dad or any of her family members in season 1. But this father-daughter talk, and it's a big change. Charlotte seemed to be the oldest child in the family, and she seemed to be at that mature age and holds a lot of responsibilities within her family, and seeing your older daughter go off into the world with these this couple that you barely know, like as a father, you're like, you know, should I let her? You know, should I let her be independent and learn herself and learn more about life by going to Sanditon, not knowing what's going to happen to her? You know, that safety question, like, is she gonna be back home safe and sound? It's a lot of there is a lot of risk in letting Charlotte go on this journey as a father, and the talk, I think it will set the tone for her journey in season 1.
The normal rules of conduct tend to be relaxed and sometimes altogether flouted.
But if I'm with Mr. and Mrs. Parker, nothing bad can happen, can it?
Just be careful. That's all.
Careful of what, Papa?
Everything.
Her father, it seemed like he knows that she's a good kid and that she wouldn't do anything crazy or get herself in trouble while she's away from her family home. But at the same time, her father gave her some wisdom, like, hey, you don't know these people. Like, you at that age where you are free to expand your horizon and just go travel the world and meet other people. But at the same time, don't be naive and don't trust people easily. Be careful about everything. Like you said, you just don't know the kind of people that you would meet in Sanditon.
Now, we are just coming up to Sanditon House, Lady Denham's place. Now, she is the great lady of the town, very rich, and very much involved, as I am, in the future of Sanditon as a first-class bathing resort. You see, just coming into view now.
Mention of Lady Denham for the first time. Charlotte seemed very intrigued, but at the same time, I think she had that moment of like I don't know. I don't know if this makes sense. Like a little bit of like insecurity. When Mr. Parker mentioned about Lady Denham and how she is rich and that she is involved in developing the seaside resort and how she is involved in the investment of the town, and Charlotte like, okay, wow, she seemed to be an important public figure in Sanditon that has a lot of money. So it's just something new for Charlotte. You assume that she doesn't meet a lot of rich people that come across her hometown. So she's like, okay, like how should I prepare myself in meeting Lady Denham if I ever run into her?
Should we call upon her this very minute, my dear? I should like Miss Hayward to meet her, and I have business matters to discuss with her.
Before we see our own children, Tom?
Well, perhaps you're right. Indeed, you are right. Always. Trafalgar House and the children it is.
Lady Denham plays is like hostile, and Charlotte like, whoa, like this woman has everything. Mr. Parker really want to get back to the business plans and want to meet Lady Denham over the details of the seaside resort, and Mary Parker like, let us sort out his first, like let Charlotte meet our children and get settled down at the house. Just keep in the back of your mind, Mr. Parker as a businessman, that balance of family and work life, and Charlotte like, okay, like he seemed to be a really strong businessman. He values his work so much, and he really cares about his job and in what he's doing for the town. But Charlotte, on the other hand, knows that family is also important, and she had that little smirk on her face.
Children! Papa's home! Miss Hayward, allow me to introduce you to Alicia, Jenny, Henry, and baby James.
Say, how do you do to Miss Hayward?
How do you do, Miss?
Well, in we go.
Charlotte arrived to her summer home. She seemed very excited, happy to see the kids. Back in the Hayward household, she was very hands-on with her younger siblings. So you can automatically expect her to be hands-on with these kids, and we're pretty sure that she would get along with them. She just have that very kind heart toward children. And I'm pretty sure these kids will remind her of her younger siblings back home.
That is a portrait of Sidney, my younger brother. We're expecting him down from London for the ball. We're counting on his help to make Sanditon fashionable.
What is his occupation?
Good question. He's a man of affairs, a man of business, importing, exporting. He's here, there, and everywhere. You can ask him yourself when you meet.
Let me show you to your room, Charlotte.
The first indirect moment of Charlotte and Sidney, keep that in the back of your mind, especially if you never watched this show before. She met Sidney through a portrait, and Tom explained who he is and what he does, and Charlotte seemed very intrigued though. She was interested. I would say that she thought he was attractive just by looking at that picture. And Mary hauled her off to her guest bedroom which we will see in the next scene, but you can see the way that she was walking away from the portrait of Sydney. She took that one last look at it. Yeah, something about that portrait of Sydney captivated Charlotte in that moment.
I hope you'll be comfortable here.
Thank you. I'm sure I shall. I've never had a room of my own before.
Come down for tea as soon as you settled in.
She's very humble about it and very appreciative of the Parker family welcoming her for the summer at their house. She had the humble nature about her as well, which is really nice to see, especially coming from that type of family background that she came from. Mary Parker, there's some things to talk about her along the way, but I would say she's a pretty cool character. She can be quiet in the corner, but when she talks or when she does something, it holds such power of her. Like, she just had this power within her. Whenever she takes over a situation, or if something going on and she had to say something or deal with it, she would say it. She would deal with it. So she's another interesting character to talk about along the way. But in this moment, she just had that motherly love towards Charlotte, and she's very caring towards Charlotte. Even though they just met, Mary just really adored Charlotte as who she is, like her own daughter, and she does keep her eye on Charlotte.